getting in the bathtub. Okay. Hello, friends. This is Dave, and I am one day closer. Dave is one day closer. We all are. And checking in, episode 2 of Dave is One Day Closer podcast. This is being recorded in a bathtub, in a clawfoot bathtub, because why not? Why not? Been thinking about what I wanted to talk about on this second episode, coming off of last week or so. I think I posted that podcast on Saturday. I think I'll probably be doing like a weekly release of a podcast every Saturday, which feels achievable. I've got so many people that I want to talk to, and so many conversations I want to have, and so many things I want to dig in on and share about. So yeah, once a week feels really manageable to start. You might be asking yourself, if you're watching this on YouTube, you're watching the video, like, why is Dave in a bathtub, and where is that bathtub located? I am in the bathtub in the house that my partner Christina owns, out in Clyde, North Carolina. It's like west of Asheville. She's got a 22-acre property out here with horses and goats and ducks and 2 kids and lots of magic. And I'm moving out here in almost exactly a month. I'll start moving my stuff out here. So big transition. Christina is away right now. She went to pick up her kids from school and pick up a friend that came into town, and I stayed behind to tidy up the house a bit and keep the fire going and record a podcast. And I was thinking about where to record it, where to set up, where I could get like a good video, a nice setting. And I was like, you know what? The bathtub has some great lighting, great backdrop. So here we are. So what do I want to talk about? I began last episode expressing that I was feeling scared and excited, but yeah, scared to begin something new and to do something when it felt like maybe there was more preparation or planning that could be done. And stepping into that fear, and in spite of it, hitting record and doing an episode, and then going through the work necessary to post the episode and share it with people. And I've had a really wonderful response from those of you who have listened. I've got a couple people who have reached out expressing that they want to connect and record a podcast. I've had some people talking about what they've been doing in their own lives in terms of expression and ways that they want to be moving that energy that I was talking about, that exists within me, and I believe exists within all of us, that wants to come out into the world, and the ways that that can change our reality. And something that I was reflecting on in the days following recording my episode was this idea that, so Saturday I recorded it, I edited it, I posted it on Spotify and YouTube, and it took me several hours, which was a lot of time and energy and attention, which with many things ends up leaving me feeling drained and like I've spent a bunch of energy. But in this case, I was more creatively energized and juiced than I had been in a long time. And it continued. It's continued all week, where I'm just excited. I feel so much juice behind this project, but also other projects in my life. And in thinking about that, I was reflecting on this idea that like when something wants to come out, when something is wishing to be expressed that is within me, and I hold it and I push it down and I contain it and I plan and I'm like, well, the time isn't right. I'm not quite ready to do this thing. You know, sometimes maybe it isn't the right time. But in this case, when I decided to actually do it and hit record and release it and let that energy move through me and open that channel, more energy was able to come through. So I took the stopper out of the channel, and now I'm feeling the energy coming through me, and that is feeding the other areas of my life, the things that I want to be doing, the things that these projects, these even chores and errands that I've been putting off or kind of like trudging around to get to. I now feel a lot of energy to accomplish them. I came out to Christina's farm 2 nights ago, and this morning the kids left for school and we were laying around and just like daydreaming, visioning what this space is going to be and the ways that we're going to be able to collaborate with friends, and the vision for this property and what it can be, and the structures that will be built and the experiences that will be had here. And there's so much more to come on that. I'm not going to share all of that just yet, but there is magic in expression. In me making the decision to release that podcast, I opened up a channel for energy to continue flowing. And at any point I could close that. I could say, you know what, this isn't for me. This isn't working for me. And I could stop doing it. And that energy will stop. And I can maybe pour that energy into something else. But for now, this is changing my sphere. It's changing what's happening in my life. And it feels really good to do that. So much of the last several years of my expression, my creative expression, has been tempered by my concern of doing it wrong, of it not being good enough, of the thing that I want to bring into the world not being good enough to release it. So I understand the fear of recording an album or writing a book or starting a blog or starting a new career. I get it. Like it might not feel like the time is right, and it might not be right currently. But we can always take steps in that direction. There can always be stuff that can be moved. Little pieces can begin to be put into place when it comes to whatever it is we want to be building in our lives. And some things take a long time to come to fruition. So what, are you gonna wait until you're retired? Or until your kids move out of the house? Or until you get that promotion? And I don't know, maybe you are. For me, I've had these visions of what I've wanted to do with a podcast and tattooing and creativity coaching and virtual reality painting, and it's all these things that I've held in my mind of like bringing my own energy into the world, and it takes a while for it to come into reality. But I've continued to like hold that vision and talk about it and work towards it. It's through our conversations with other people in our lives that are creative. It's through observing other people doing what it is that they are called to do that gives me permission to do this, to record a fucking podcast in a bathtub. Because why not? There really is no limit to what we can do or how we do it. We each get to bring our own flavor into the world. And that's the beauty of our individual expression, is that everyone's is unique. We can maybe imitate somebody or look up to another creator and be like, man, that guy's tattoos are really awesome. I love the way that he uses shape and form and color. Or oh my God, I love that woman's the way that she dances. I want to embody that energy. And there's something special about that, because when we see something in another person that we admire or aspire to, that gives us a direction to point our path. It's like, okay, I like the way that guy is doing his life. I like the way that woman is doing her art. I like the way that person is sharing themselves. And when we see that gives us information about what it is that we can shift in our own way of doing things. So maybe in you listening to this podcast or watching this video, you're like, man, I wish that I could just get into a bathtub and record a podcast like that. That's so cool. I wish I could be that spontaneous or silly. I don't know. I don't know what you're thinking. But if you are watching this and you're like, holy shit, Dave is like doing something really special, I hope that you understand that, like, by me doing this is giving you permission to do it. This is like, give yourself permission to do the thing, because tomorrow is not promised. We don't know what next week or next month or the following year holds for us. So it's like, if there's something within you that wants to be brought into the world, what are you waiting for? Get started. Start sketching. Start journaling. Start tilling the soil for your garden. Like, whatever it is, like, what are you waiting for? What are you waiting for? I don't have anything else to say. This is it. And I have a feeling that oftentimes this will kind of be what my podcast is. And I hope that something in this podcast and listening to me ignites something within you or further fuels what you're already doing. I want to be a force of empowerment in this world, of like, just like cheerleading everybody in my life to do the fucking thing that they've been thinking about doing. We need this. The world needs this. I was talking to my therapist about this last night, or yesterday. We did a video call, and we were talking about transitions, about me moving out here and moving out of the tattoo shop and coming to tattoo out here. And he was saying that him and his wife are going through a transition. They'll be moving, and he's going to have this big workshop in the basement that's finished and heated, and he's going to be doing woodworking. And he's just like so excited about it. And it's just like, he's like, it's so good for me. It's so good to be working on something and bringing something into the world. And just over and over, this idea of like this, it's medicine. It's a balm for the wounds that we all receive in living this life. At least that's my belief. Maybe I'm wrong, but I really believe that the creative expression is something like some of the purest, most beautiful forms of art have come through so much hurt and darkness and depression. It's such a way of processing the challenges that exist for each of us. It's such a way of processing the challenges that exist for me. And man, I'm so excited to do more. Christina and I went on a date night last night, and we went to this place in Asheville called the Marquee, which is down in the River Arts District, which is this like beautiful space. It's a bunch of old warehouses that have been absolutely covered in like incredible graffiti artwork. Like every surface has graffiti on it, and then the spaces have been rented out by restaurants and art spaces and clothing shops, and it's just like this super creative nexus. And there's a really big building called the Marquee. I think it's like 5,500 square feet. It's massive. It could be like an old tractor barn or something. And they've made it into this huge like art gallery, art studio space. So it's like there's like individual installations throughout this whole space, and there's a bar, and you can get a drink and then go and walk and just peruse all the art stuff. And walking by these installations, I was commenting to Christina, there's just like, walls of people's paintings and illustrations and drawings or clothing and whatever it is that these people were making. And it's all in their individual styles. And I was reflecting on the fact that the last 4 years as a tattooer have been determined mostly by what it is that other people want to have tattooed on them. And I'm honored to be a part of someone else's expression, of helping someone else ornament their body with a piece of art that they are excited about. But that has meant that most of the creative juice that I have bubbling within me has been funneled into creating artwork within the parameters of someone else's vision, which means that it's only been a couple times that I've gotten to do something that's like purely my own creation. And so when I see these art installations that people have of just like dozens and dozens of pieces of art that are totally their thing, there's a longing inside of me of like, man, I would love to just be making the artwork that fuels my soul, instead of working to create artwork that someone else wants based on what their vision is. And I think there's a balance to that. So it's something that I will continue to work on for myself. Again, I'm honored to get to connect with people and help them bring their creative vision to life, but it's something that I'm still finding a balance of like, how do I also fuel my creative desires? Yeah, earlier I said I didn't have anything else to say. I guess I was wrong. So what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? Just a guy sitting in a bathtub, talking to a microphone, looking into a camera. Life's weird. And boy, is it sweet. I love it. So happy to be here right now, out of the rain. Wherever you are listening to this, watching this, I love you. I love you. Go out there and find some way to add your magic to the world. Some little thing or some big thing or something in between. We are not promised tomorrow. Tell your people you love them. Bring something special into this strange, sometimes dark, often beautiful world. If you are enjoying this podcast, if you're enjoying these YouTube videos, I'm going to be that guy. Hit subscribe. Give me a rating. I've literally never said that before on a podcast. I mean, this is episode 2 of this, but on my last one, doesn't matter. Apparently it helps the search function for people. It drives this to more listeners, which would be great. If this is doing something good for you, share it with someone that you love. Share it with someone that might get something out of this. I know that I'm getting something out of this, and that's why I'm doing it. So anything beyond that is like a fucking cherry on top. That's it. That's all I have to say about that. I love Forrest Gump, by the way. I might do a whole episode of Forrest Gump quotes. Probably not, though. I don't know how interesting that would be. We'll see. Because it doesn't really matter. Everything is sacred, and nothing matters. I'm Dave, and I'm one day closer to something. Hope you have a wonderful day.